If you're a stamper, we've got you covered with a few new fun papers from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. Let me share with you what we have. The first is Neenah Classic Crest. This is a very popular paper with rubber stampers. This one is Solar White and it's the super smooth, and this one is natural white in the smooth. So we couldn't get the super smooth in the natural white, but we do have it in the solar white. These are 85-pound weight papers and they are fabulous for stamping and coloring, and I'll show you a bit more about that in just a minute. And then we have Grana Grossa. This is also a Neenah paper. This one is called Bianco, the off-white, and then this is premium white, the real white, the true white. Now these are special because they have kind of a linen letterpress texture to them, and they're just super nice, high quality papers with just a beautiful finish. Really fun for watercoloring and some other stamping projects. Okay, so let me show you what is so cool about these papers. One of the things that people just absolutely love about this Neenah Classic Crest paper is that it's great for coloring with Copic markers. So Copic markers are kind of like the high-end alcohol markers that people use. There's lots of different brands of alcohol markers, so the same strategy applies there. But what you do is you stamp with a permanent ink. I really like this Memento, and it holds up to alcohol markers. So just to explain this a bit more, if I stamp this with an ink that doesn't work with alcohol markers, I'll stamp the black and then I'll start coloring, and the black ink will pick up in my color. Now if I use a stamp pad that's more permanent, then it will stay, the lines will stay, and my marker or my ink, whatever I'm using to color, will not pick up the black lines, if that makes sense. So anyways, this Memento is a great one. And why this paper is so special is because when you start to color, it won't bleed. It soaks in the ink, so it keeps a nice vibrant color, but it doesn't soak up and bleed. So a lot of times other papers that aren't such quite high quality, you'll color and you'll try to stay within the lines. You'll do a pretty good job of it, and then it will bleed and the ink will kind of bleed out over the edge. But not with this. It stays right in the edges, so it gives you nice crisp stamped images and nice crisp colored lines. So just to give you an idea, here's one that is colored not on the Neenah Solar, and you can see how right there the ink kind of bled out. It soaks the ink up too much and it starts to bleed outside the lines. All right, moving on to the Grana Grossa. This one also picks up ink super vibrant. You can see I've used the same black stamp pad and then used Copics to color. It picks up the ink, so it's super vibrant, but you'll see it does bleed just a little bit. So you have to be super careful, color in the lines, but this is the texture that we want with this. We want it to kind of look watercolor, look a little less crisp, and that's the purpose of this paper. So let me show you a fun technique you can do with this. You can just kind of go with the natural tendency of the paper. So in this case, I've stamped a butterfly in a gray ink, and this is not a permanent ink, so it will just bleed and kind of meld with whatever color I do. And I did that on purpose so that when I color it in, it looks like it's watercolored. So here I've just used some watercolor markers, and you can see how it bleeds and pulls up, and you can hardly even see the stamped image anymore. It just looks like a watercolor. And here's kind of a full card with some watercolor splotches on it as well. So you can see how the paper just really soaks that up. So this is really pretty for coloring when you want that watercolor effect, or if you want to do solid stamped images and have them kind of bleed a little bit and just look less crisp. It's totally up to you what the look you're going for is. This is also a beautiful paper just for layering because it has such cool character and kind of an old world feel. Looks gorgeous when you kind of ink the edges and make it look old-fashioned. So I hope that's helpful as you're deciding which paper to choose for your rubber stamping or for your projects. Again, you don't have to limit yourself to rubber stamping on these. They're just great quality cardstocks for whatever you're working on, and I know you will come up with some beautiful things.